Hi everyone, it's Lisa with InkandInspirations.com. Thanks for joining me today. In this video, we're going to be making this fun little strawberry treat box using the Fresh Fruit stamp set and the Coordinating Fruit Stand Designer Series paper. So to get started, I've got this strawberry print cut at 5.5 by 8.5, and we're going to do some scoring on that in just a minute. I need a piece of pear pizzazz to punch a 2-inch circle, 1/2 of our delicate lace doilies, and a strip of Whisper White cut at 1/2 inch wide, and I just leave it long so that I can use it as I need it and cut it apart after I stamp a sentiment. And then for this, I just have a piece of Whisper White to do some stamping and fussy cutting, and we're going to do that first. Let's go ahead and stamp 2 strawberries with Watermelon Wonder ink, and I'm just going to do this like this, and then I'm going to put some leaves at the top, and I have got to get those mounted right here. And I'm going to stamp off. I'm using Emerald Envy, but I don't want it quite that bold, so I'm using a piece of scratch paper here and stamping off. And then I'm going to come across the top here. And same for the other strawberry. Then I'm just going to get my paper snips and cut around these just very easily. This is a wonderful stamp set, especially for your summer crafting. I love it. I love the flower in it. I love the fruit. And the paper is gorgeous with all of those bright colors and just really pretty. Okay, as I'm cutting here, I'm moving my paper more than I'm moving my scissors around. It just makes it easier. And I try to leave a little bit of white around the edge to keep me from cutting through the stamped image. Okay, I'm going to cut the excess away to make it more manageable. And here I'm going to quicker now because I'm not dealing with such a large piece of cardstock. So in hindsight, it would be best to start with a smaller piece. Probably a 4x4 square would be good. You want to have room to hold it and room to stamp. So we just about have this done here. And I'm just going to go around these little leaves and then around the strawberry here, and that's done. And I'm going to take my pear pizzazz and my 2-inch circle punch a circle, and that's just going to provide a bit of a backdrop behind the strawberries. I want a little bit of that color showing through, so I'm going to use some snail and just apply that there. And then our doily that's cut in half, I'm just going to gather that a little bit, okay? And I want it peeking out from behind this circle, so applying some adhesive here and maybe a little farther down. There we go. And you can play with it, crinkle it up, gather it. All right, let's set that aside. And then I'm going to take the happy birthday sentiment from that fresh fruit set. I'm inking it up in Emerald Envy, stamping it on this 1/2 inch strip. And then I'm just going to cut it apart, just like this, by bannering the ends a bit, and we're going to use that sentiment on our box. Okay, we can set those stamped images aside, put away the ink, and I'm going to pull out my Simply Scored scoring tool, and we're going to score this so that we can make a box. Okay. You want to decide what your top of your box is going to be, and you put that up at the top here. Take your stylus And I'm going to score it at 2, 4, 6, and 8. Okay, then I'm going to turn it, and I want the top, what I want to be the top of my box over here on the left hand side, and I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch. And then I like to turn it, put the bottom over here, and score at 2 inches. Okay, so we can put this simply scored away. And now we can do some folding on those score lines. Burnish a bit. And when you go ahead and burnish these score lines, it makes it much easier when you're assembling a box. This is designer paper though. It's not as thick as our cardstock, although it does have a good weight to it. It's going to hold some candy nicely, as you'll see in a minute. The bottom here is formed by that 2-inch score, and this top 1/2 inch score is so that we can turn down this top edge and have that pretty border along the edge there. Okay, so now we need to do a little bit of cutting. Over here on this narrow end where this score is, you're going to cut off that little rectangle formed by those intersecting score lines completely off. Then let's cut up to that 2-inch score line on the rest of these. Okay, and then this, I'm going to put a little adhesive on the back of this turn down flap to just keep it in place. And then this piece here, we're going to put some tear and tape. And you could use fast fuse. I'm completely out. Kind of was a little disaster there. I thought, well, I'll just use tear and tape on this end. And then I'm going to use snail for the bottom, but I would probably use fast fuse or the tear and tape. But I'm just going to use snail to make this move a little more quickly. Okay, so there's our box. And we're going to pull this up, and the seam is here. Okay, so this is the back of our box. So let's tuck in these two sides. Okay, and then we're going to tuck in the back flap and then put some adhesive here. I guess I can go ahead and put the tear and tape, make it sturdy. Pull that up like that, and there's our cute little box. Well, Lisa, pull the paper off. It is storming here today, and I'm hoping you can't hear all of that thunder going on in the background. Okay, so here's the back of our box. Now let's take our little embellishment, and I'll go ahead and put some tear and tape there to make it sturdy. Peel off the paper there, just like that. And that I want that to just extend beyond the top of the box there. Then I'm going to take the sentiment and just put it down here. And then, look, I have these fun wrapped strawberry candies to fill it up. Okay. All right. I hope you will give that a try. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining me, and I will see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.